fun. It was rewarding. Winning never gets old, and I don't care if it's expected or not, but we had a wonderful experience, I think, through the 4 days of diving and swimming and racing. Our team was tremendous, not just in their performance, but the support they had for one another, the commitment to the mission and to the program, and to ensure that not just did we swim fast and dive well, but that the program was well taken care of. And so I can't say just enough positive things about our leadership and just the culture of taking care of each other. So it was fun. It was good.
And then looking ahead, you got the national championship meet next week. A lot of eyes on the program with a lot of high marks, a lot of highly seeded swimmers. Just talk about kind of an outlook on the national meet coming up.
Day by day, event by event, lap by lap, right? We've got some pretty big goals and expectations, but the way that we manage that is piece by piece. Like we tell them, you can eat an elephant one bite at a time, and so we're just going to take care of business, and everybody knows what their job is, and simplify things the best that we can and focus on the process, right? What can we control right now that's going to lead us to being as good as we can be? And I think the whole idea of taking care of each other, to have 30 athletes together, it just makes it more fun. You go to a national championship and there's only a couple of you in it, and it can be daunting. I think the fact that we've got a big team and a lot of support and a similar kind of environment as they would have at home will certainly help everybody. But we just want to take care of each other and take it day by day and event by event.
And Tanner, for you, this isn't your first national championship meet, in diving. So, what's something this year that you're focusing on more than in years past for this national championship meet?
I'd say the thing that I'm focusing on more than I have in the past is rest. In the previous years, I pushed harder and harder as we got closer and closer, just trying to perfect everything. And I've learned it's not about being perfect to do the best you can. It's about being rested and knowing that you can do it is the biggest difference that I'm focusing on.
And then Amelia, newcomer to the team, competing in your first national championship meet. What are you kind of expecting out of next week's meet?
I think just the experience in general is something that I'm very excited for, and getting to do this alongside some of a handful of my teammates is going to be just incredible. The RMAC championship kind of showed me a lot about the team and a lot about myself, and so I'm excited to be able to take my swimming to a bigger stage and hopefully compete even better.
Amelia's she's very spiritual, and she took some fairy dust the other night. I don't know if you noticed, she has tinsel growing out of her head as a result of the fairy dust. So
That's true.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Questions?
I say, Tanner, obviously you've seen the best diver in Division II being on your team, for 3 years. You learned from that, but now you're going in, you're the guy, and that Tuesday is so pressure packed. Is that just, how much does it help knowing you've been through it and you know how to get through that day?
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier having been there. My first year I was super nervous for it, and now that I've been there a couple of times, I'm less nervous, and I think that's the biggest thing to focus on is calming those nerves, because the more nervous you are, your heart rate tends to go up a little bit and you're not relaxed. So it's all about being relaxed and self-confidence, being confident that you deserve it.
You throw your I know I can hit this dive first and kind of get those jitters out of the way?
Yeah.
That's Like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then kind of flow into everything else?
Yeah, you have to trust in your training and just know that you can do it and focus on what you've learned throughout the whole year and not focusing on what you can't do. You need to focus on what you can do.
First, I mean, you've always had, you know, the divers that are seated high. Might be the first time in a long time you've had swimmers that are the #1 seeds in their events. And, you know, they qualified early, they did everything they needed to do. How much does that kind of help them, or is it added pressure? Or obviously it's the next step in this program is to go get some individual national championships that lead to a team.
Yeah, I think it's individual. You know, we had a great talk the other day about pressure being a privilege and how much we appreciate the opportunity to be a top seed or you know, one of the top ranked people. Everybody's got a different way of dealing with it. You know, for some, it's a real inspiring, motivating, this is great kind of an experience. And for others, I think it can be a little intimidating, right? And so we all have our pre-race routines. We have our things that we can control. We do the stuff that we know is going to get us where we want to be. The luxury of having had some success early season is that for the vast majority of our top performers, we've been able to focus on the national championship as the terminal event, as opposed to, well, we got to do it at RMAX and then a month later again at NCAAs. And because we had some success early and have had a chance to put first things first in terms of the way we approach these meets, it gives us some flexibility and some freedom. Even someone like Amelia, who she would probably say, well, yeah, I rested for the RMAC championship. She did, but we left a little bit in the tank, right? Because we wanted to make sure that Nationals was the best meet that we had all season and not an afterthought. And so that process has been really a lot of fun, you know, with Ben and Sam and Lily and some of the others.
Yeah, and going in, I mean, other than pixie dust and everything else, what do you kind of go through the next week to prepare for something you have no idea what is in store?
Yeah, so I think it's not, I don't want to say it's something that I have experienced going to the NCAAs, no, but I have swam these races time and time again throughout the season, so it's nothing shocking. I know I'm going to be swimming a mile, I know I'm going to be swimming 1,000, and I do the little things in the races and just trust, like Tanner was saying, trust your training and trust what I've done all year to keep myself calm and kind of just focus on when I get there. No stress, just focus on having fun and performing to the best of my ability.
I mean, swimming distance, and I did it in high school, and how do you keep your pace for a mile and 1,000? I mean, it's hard to kind of keep that pace. Is there a song?
Yeah,
I used to sing to myself.
Yeah, so personally, in distance races, they have counters that go in, and I have found, for me, it is extremely effective to not have my counter put it in for a little bit so that I can focus on swimming within myself and not seeing the number every time, because sometimes that's like daunting and it's like, oh, I'm at 20, I have 40 more lengths to go, but when it's in at 40, you know, I'm like holding my pace, I'm, you know, watching my coaches, I'm observing what's going on around me, but while also focusing on what I need to do and how I'm feeling. So I think that kind of just removing that little bit of stress for me as having the counter in the whole time and just having it in part of the time is very helpful and beneficial to my focus and me being able to perform at the rate that I need to.
Yeah. how stressful was waiting for the bids to come out? I mean, you know, you guys know your rank, yeah, but the kids on the bubble have had to have been a little antsy.
Amelia was fine. We knew she was fine, but we had 5 or 6 that we didn't know till that minute if they made it or not. It's an inhumane process. I really think the NCAA could do a lot better with it. Why not have a qualifying time? You know, in the first year, probably more people would make it than they had money for, but they could figure that part out. It would really be way more beneficial for the athletes if we had a cut.
Yeah, a true cut.
Yeah, exactly.
So the B cut is that and track, and I mean, what they do to divers is also inhumane. I mean, you know,
Crazy.
you
Yeah.
get a score, you qualify, and now you got to go qualify again. And it's like, but I qualified.
Right.
You know, and why do I have to do this again? I mean, they really do need to kind of look to overhaul how they, I mean, swimming is mental enough, you know, to grueling and everything.
Yeah, that Super Tuesday deal
Yeah,
that's something.
it's not nice.
No. Yeah.
Is there, I mean, other than, the kids that you know, obviously Lily, Sammy, those guys have got really good chances to place high. Is there somebody else who's like, this is the one, that could come
Amelia
up?
Kinnard,
Yeah.
Tanner Belliston, Isaiah Cheeks,
Yeah.
Kelsey Wright, Katerina Mataskova, Lauren White,
All 30?
Mateus, Kuba, maybe.
Your young kids have done a great job.
Yeah, I think they're all going to swim fast, and how it all shakes out, we'll find out.
All right, question of the week.
You know, last week, you never think that people watch this, and I said something about curling, that I'm a really good curler. And a few days later, I got a shirt in the mail, a curling shirt. It said, stress blessed and curling obsessed. So people are watching this. So you got to be ready.
All right.
Question of the week.
Question of the week. If you won the lottery today, what would you do with the winnings?
My answer is boring.
I would say travel. I really enjoy traveling, so I'd probably use it to travel.
I'll have 3 of my 4 children in college next year, so that paying that off to me that's the first thought that comes to mind.
Similar to Coach, mine would be going towards college, and I'm also the oldest of 6 children, so also just like assisting them in their endeavors.